What's up, YouTube? It's Chris with Murphy Firearms Training. I'm out here on the carport today because I want to talk about a recent video that I posted about Crimp Jump. And in that video, my friend Marty kind of limp wrists my 460 and it snaps back really hard. And so a cartridge, the bullet is really heavy compared to the other components. And there's this thing called inertia. And inertia it really works two ways. It's an object at rest tends to stay at rest, and an object in motion tends to stay in motion. And so you've got your cartridge sitting in your cylinder. When that revolver snaps back violently, the bullet tends to not want to recoil with the rest of the gun, and it will pull out. An example of this would be when you first get into reloading. Most folks buy these little things here. They're called kinetic bullet pullers. Now, I had two of these cartridges. I put one in this kinetic bullet puller, and I'm out on the carport because you got to whack this on something hard. Concrete. There it goes. One whack. It pulled this bullet in one whack. And so I'm going to show you guys this. You pull this out. There's your case, and then there's your powder and your bullet. And if you want to see the amount of powder I use, it's there on the screen, but I don't remember the measurement. It's a lot. It's like I would guess about 40 grains with this behemoth. So I'm going to put this in here. You just put it in your shell holder. You put it in your kinetic bullet puller. You tighten down your back piece. Okay? And it's the same principle if you take a fully loaded crimped revolver round. And it does not matter how heavily you crimp it. You can crimp it as heavily as your equipment will allow. If you put it in this kinetic bullet puller and you whack enough times, it's coming out. Now, these already jumped crimped, so it took one whack. But if I took these fully crimped, probably 3 to 5 solid whacks on the concrete, that bullet's coming out, okay? And so this is how people pull bullets when they first get into reloading. I have a collet style bullet puller now, and that's what I use. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse these bullets. I'm going to reuse these primed brass, and I'll just sweep the powder out into the grass and use it as fertilizer. But basically, that's what's happening. And what typically will account for that is limp wristing the gun. However, if you don't get a good, strong crimp, even the best shooter, in terms of not letting that gun snap back, will get crimp jump if you don't get a good, strong crimp on a violently recoiling cartridge. So think of a 45-70 handgun, a 500 mag, a 460 mag, 450 Forcasol. I've even seen it with 357, but typically with the 357, it's the shooter's fault. But when you're reloading ammo, you've got to put a heavy crimp on these. And even with the heavy crimp, if you let that thing snap back, that inertia is going to make that bullet creep out. So there it is, guys. User-induced failure. That's why it happened. I hope that helps someone. If you're reloading a violently recoiling cartridge, you're going to need a heavy crimp. And then make sure you keep that muzzle down. And if this happens, it's going to lock up the cylinder because your bullet can't get by your forcing cone. So anyway, hope that helps you guys. Going to go put these back so I can reload them and see what we can do from there. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.